Okay, it's time for another episode. We're going to be talking about some very important critical aspects of how 2021 is different and what we've experienced and the things that will help grow your practice faster. So the key to all of this, and the key that we found, is that you have to have a bunch of things set up operationally in order to be successful. So what we're really talking about here is thinking through the model of the patient journey. Now in 2020, we had a lot of challenges with up and down of things being shut down or things being scuttled for a while, but then things came back online and people learned a little bit more about the customer. Now the good thing is that people are starting to understand is that customers are pretty simple. In all respects, they just want an appointment, right? So if they're coming to your business and they're saying, hey, I need XYZ service or XYZ type of product, they want to book themselves as soon as possible. If they're on your website, or if they're on one of your landing pages, or if they're on your social media and they're taking the next step to get to your site, we have obviously got the proper setup for the language and the calls to action to get them to maybe get to a point where they go, okay, I'm going to click that button because I want the offer, whatever the offer may be, 10% off, $100 off, whatever the offer is in the market. It might not even be a discount. It might be just claim your appointment, right? So the concept is that now in 2021, what we're trying to do is take as much pressure off of the staff and off of the practitioners to allow the mechanics to take over. And the mechanics are really us, right? It's our concept of what we've seen for years and years and years, and especially in 2021, will be the defining factor of whether you're successful or not. It's how can you utilize different resources for your business. Your practice needs to have as much resources as possible, because every minute that goes by in the day, you need to be thinking about what's the process of getting customers from a lead to a prospect, to a suspect, to a booked appointment, to revenue. And a lot of the practices we dealt with, especially in 2020, had very thin resources. So we actually had to think about how do we make it better. So we hired people that worked in the med spa world. We hired people that owned med spas. We hired people that ran surgical centers. We hired people who are just 100% spot on, don't need to tell them what to do, don't need to even explain things. They will help you make better operational flow decisions based off of best practices that we've been finding with some of our more successful med spas, aesthetics practices, and so forth. Some of our practices are approaching $400,000 a month as a single practice. That's a lot of revenue. The reason why is because they're operationally efficient. They can handle more leads. They don't have to bang down walls in order to make more room. What they do need to do is make their operations efficient so that they can maximize the patients that do come in. So that's the key thing that we did in 2020, is to hire so that in 2021, we have a staff that's built for maximizing operational flow. The second thing that we did, which is super important, critical things that you should understand that will make a huge difference, is that we managed to build a call center or a fulfillment center for calling back the leads immediately. So the biggest detractor to any lead campaign, whether you run in Facebook or Instagram or Google or wherever you run your ads or wherever you run your strategy, is how quickly can you get back to the customer once they've shown interest? It's the same old story. If the fish is hot in the frying pan, you got to cook it right then. It's got to be that quick respond before that person loses interest, forgets what they did, moves on to something else in Facebook, and doesn't remember you. Because people are very, very short attention span today. They're flittering around like a little butterfly, and you've got to capture them. So what we have is a call center now that we've worked with that just works on aesthetics and medical. They only help North American clients from a North American call center with helping convert patients that come through the first minute they get into the lead funnel. So the second they hit that funnel, there's someone looking at that saying, ding, time to call that person. Now, that's one aspect of the three pieces that I'm mentioning here. We always, as a third aspect, have funnelization. So we've got automation running in the background. So even if that person doesn't pick up the phone, or that person refuses to take a phone call, because we all know people don't like being called on the phone, we automate the process to book them for self-service. So they come on, they take an offer, they go to the next stage where they get an email, a Facebook message, or an email, one of those three, that tells them, hey, glad that you took advantage of this offer. Click here to book your appointment. So then we can take them right to the appointment stage and book them right into the calendar, and they can self-service themselves. Now we know, especially now in 2021, with everybody used to doing this, a lot of self-service is going on. There's a lot of people who just don't want to talk to anybody, don't want to deal with anything. They just want to click a button and have it done. Again, they're looking to get the appointment done. You're looking to get the appointment done. So you need to make as many potential crossroads to connect to them as possible. So we've built that simple system of follow-up mechanisms that will automatically ask them to book themselves into their own appointment. Now, this has been working like wonders for those people who originally never had anything set up. They never had an auto booking system, meaning that the patient was out there somewhere in the internet. They'd call up, they'd have to speak with someone, they maybe get what they're looking for, or maybe they would not necessarily even get what they're looking for, but they would get a ability to at least communicate with someone within your company. But that can all be done now automatically, right? So you're cutting the time down to do the process. And again, this doesn't mean you can't do the normal processes. Of course, we have lots of other things that are going on, but from a lead perspective, from a new customer, from a new person who's interested in your business, how do you get them to make that next step? And you need to continue to automate the process of making the customer show up. So what we really want to do is not only take people from that journey of, hey, I'm a lead, I need to book my appointment, but also to make them feel warm through the customer journey. And you can do that very easily. There's so many pieces to these funnels now that incorporate personalization and all sorts of things that you can do to make the customer go through the entire process as quickly as possible. So for 2021, what we've really done is looked at the trifecta of services, the three-stage process, which is one, have the customer have a great experience by having that automation built. Two, make sure you use a backstop like us or another call center that will call the leads immediately, so that even the automation to some degree is only a percentage point in your favor. But if you're also calling the person and confirming them and saying, thank you for calling, or thank you for coming in to our website or our landing page or our social media funnel, you now are communicating with the client, trying to get them to, again, create a personalized story. And then three, the real business of having people professionally that are in the industry, helping you with operation flow, helping your team with sales strategy on a weekly basis, going through your lead mechanics, going through where people are, what happened to them, how are they being processed, how can you do it better, listening to phone calls, listening to sales calls, helping the team slice and dice up what happens to those people when they come through. So we're providing 100% accountability. That's why we're so confident now. That's why we're offering such an enormous opportunity to work with us for free, basically. We will guarantee you 20 patients in 20 days, or we'll pay you back. And that is an amazing offer. We've never done it before, but we're so confident at this point. We've had so many good success stories. We've had so many clients who've told us they're just thankful that they're working with us and our team, and that we've got it figured out, and that they're finally settled to something that they can rely on, and that we are the people that will help them go to the next level. So if you're interested, totally think this is the almost no risk or low risk way to jump in to an opportunity to try out a real team that's proven 10 years of doing this business. And especially right now with the team that we've allotted for this particular program, you have a winning combination. So to that end, we'll see you on the inside.